What's going on, guys? This is Fumbles and Floaters with Blake,
Bobby Buckets.
and we're back with episode 2. So, just had week 8 in the books for the NFL. Let's get it popping.
Yeah, I think, you know, we should start it off by talking about our favorite teams and how they did. I'll start. Raiders, good low scoring win over the Browns. Crazy win game. A lot of just ground and pound, handed it off, not much passing. Field goals, you could see the Raiders' first field goal went all over the place. Easy 16-6, not much to talk about. Now, Blake, we'll let you talk about your team. Yo, I can't hear you.
What'd you say?
I said you can talk about your favorite team.
I don't know. It's really staticky. So, the Titans and Bengals, we got Joe Burrow is the real deal.
No, no. Look, Cowboys Eagles Sunday night football. Like you guys were
Prime
on the big
time,
stage. What do you got? What do you got for me, bro?
waiting all day for Sunday night. Man, let me tell you. George Washington came out and threw 4 picks. And it was bad, man. I I was looking at the report today and he's gonna start again. I think Andy Dalton is out again. So we gotta go through that again. I don't know, man. I think a lot of it just has to do with the players really just don't look like they want to be there. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't either. It's really a sad situation when our division is as bad as it is, and we're what are we, third in the division? I think we're
It
third
doesn't. It
behind
doesn't matter.
Washington. Yeah, it's just a lost season, and I think it goes to show how much Dak helps us. And I think it also goes to show how much Jerry Jones doesn't need to be the GM. Uh, yeah, it just doesn't look like they're having fun out there. And to be completely honest with you, I'm pretty sad. I thought it was our year, and it's not our year. But it's crazy because the Eagles, I mean, they didn't look good either. They looked trash, but we're just more trash. So
So you
that's what I
don't. You're
got.
not a believer in George Washington or whoever the quarterback was last week. You're not a believer.
No, so Benjamin Franklin is he did not look good. I mean, I don't know. It's sad because I saw he had a pep in his step and he had a twinkle in his eye when I saw him warming up. But he was getting waxed, man. It did not look good. I feel bad for him. I was his first start, and he threw like 9 interceptions. And yeah, dude, he looked like he was trying to like be Patrick Mahomes. He was side arming it and stuff, and it was bad, man. It was bad.
Um, I actually heard they're having an open tryout down at the Cowboys Stadium this week. Are you going to be trying out for quarterback this upcoming week?
Yeah. I've been training up at the YMCA. So yeah, I'm gonna be trying out for QB. There are a couple other positions they need. So I don't know if I'm gonna be playing outside backer QB or if they need me at right guard. Some pulls. I'll, I'll be the lead blocker for Zeke next week. Yeah, I don't know. We need help. I saw a Craigslist ad for safety as well. So
Oh man.
uh,
All right. Let's move on. All right. So this week we had Falcons, Panthers, Thursday night football. Um, Takeaways from that: Julio Jones had a really good game. DJ Moore didn't really get thrown the ball until late in the game, and the Panthers lost. I don't know. Do you have anything from that game? I don't.
I mean, I just finally the Falcons got a win. I saw the look on that man Arthur Blank's face when they won.
He was so happy.
It's like it's
He
been
was so
84
relieved.
years. He was so happy. I think another takeaway is Ridley got hurt that game, which sucks. So he's going to be
Yeah.
out the next week, and then they have a bye because he's on my fantasy team. So that's something to look for. But I mean, of course, they still have Julio, so I don't think it's a crazy big deal. But they finally got a win. That's my only takeaway.
So maybe a sleeper on the waiver wire is Russell Gage. If Ridley's
Yes.
going to be out a couple weeks, Russell Gage is
Mhm.
not a bad option fantasy wise. You know, we love fantasy. Speaking of fantasy football, next game Vikings Packers. This man Dalvin Cook had 4 touchdowns. I believe he scored all the Vikings touchdowns in the
Yeah.
game, and it was crazy because when I was watching Red Zone, but they talked about in the first half, each team scored 2 touchdowns.
Hmm.
There's no punts, and it were just long drives. I think like one drive was like 15 plays, one was 12 plays. Then they'd come back down 12 plays, and then like a 15 play, and then the first half's over, 14-14. So that was just kind of crazy. Devontae Adams actually had all the touchdowns for the Packers, so he had 3 touchdowns. And I
Hmm.
think just a big thing, just noticing Green Bay really needs receivers. Aaron Rodgers does not trust his other receivers. I think one drive he threw it to some dude. I don't even know who his name is, to be honest. Number 19, I think it was. Threw it to him like twice, and he just couldn't. I think he dropped it twice. He could have made a play. It wasn't like a bad drop, but he could have made the play, and he just couldn't. It's just like they need some help. Um,
Yeah, no, I know that look he gives every time he throws it and they drop it. I've given that look before playing backyard football to my friends that aren't good, so I definitely recognize that when I saw it. He just looks like he don't want to be out there with them. Yeah,
can you
it's
put can you put some names on that?
they need receiver help. Yeah, let me see. Uh, I'm trying to think here, man.
Is one of them Jalen? Did you not trust Jalen to catch a football?
No, Jalen and I, we were no, we were like the what's that? I don't know. We're gonna think about the names. No, Jalen and I were a good combo. We weren't. He
Okay.
wasn't catching nothing though. He wasn't no receiver. We have, yeah, no. It
So it
was
was
not
more like
Jalen.
when it was more like freshman year. We go out there for flag football, and Alex Dorsey is trying to run a route, and you throw it to him, and we all know that man's just gonna drop it, and it's more like
Yeah,
that look, and you just give him that look, like yo, like all right, you can come in and block,
yeah. Hey
or
man, we
go
need to
get snacks, water, or something.
we need to reassess what you're doing out here because it's not catching. Yeah, no, absolutely. I know that look.
All right, next Titans Bengals. This was a surprise. I know the Vikings surprisingly beat the Packers. Another surprise though, the Bengals beat the Titans. Titans have looked really good this year.
Mhm.
I'll say one thing: Joe Burrow, he's looked really good. I know you probably seen that play where he broke like 4 or 5 tackles, spun
Yeah,
around, did a hula hoop. Uh,
a
it was only
somersault.
like a 7-yard run,
I
but
know.
man, it looked
I
like he was
know.
fighting for his.
I know. It was a long. It was long time wise. It took a long time, but yeah. No, he's just. I don't know. I know when people draft or people expect number one QBs to be flashy and crazy, running like making crazy plays like Patrick Mahomes or Kyler, but I don't know. He's just really steady. He's seems pretty good at everything. Doesn't have a big flaw. Obviously, his O line is a flaw, but he's looks solid. I don't know. The Bengals. I think they picked the right person because they look like they're
Yeah,
on track to a good rebuild.
yeah, he's looked really good. Next up, Colts at Lions. The Colts won this game. They've looked pretty good. They're 5-2, tied for first in the division with the Titans. And just when I was the highlights I seen from this game, and when they'd come up on red zone, Hines, it was crazy. I don't know. I don't know if you've seen it. He had a crazy play where he like spun into the end zone, gets up and does like a cartwheel into a flip. I was just like, what? Like
Yeah.
this man literally
It
just
was,
ran like caught like a 30, or he caught it short, ran for like 20 yards, spun into the end zone. Somehow I didn't think he was going to get in the end zone, and then
yeah.
just proceeds to do a flip. And I was just like, there's no way that he has the energy to do this. And then he did another flip on his second touchdown in the game.
Yeah.
But they surprised me. Look good with all that. They've had like 3 backs that contribute. Um, Philip Rivers has done pretty good, even though he looked terrible at the beginning of the year because he couldn't throw down the field. But he be feeding them backs.
Yeah, they have a lot of good backs, and they need them. I've even just looking through fantasy and watching the games. They've had a lot of receivers get hurt and cycling them in, but their backs have been constant. Even Taylor, the rookie, he's
Yeah,
been a lot of what everybody thought he would be. And Hines, yeah, that's ridiculous because doing a backflip, I've heard I can't do I can't do one. It's exert a lot of energy. So yeah, it's pretty impressive.
got shoulder pads and everything on. He
I
was out
know
there.
that's crazy.
I don't
That's
know. Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, next, this is probably one of the games of the week. Steelers Ravens, fight for the division. And I'm gonna just be honest, I'm sorry for you Lamar Jackson's fans, but watching this game never put him in the conversation of Mahomes, Russell Wilson up there. I remember at the beginning of the year, I mean, obviously he had a great year last year, MVP, but he's just watching him throw the football is just not the same as watching these other guys. Like sometimes it just looks like he can't put no air on it, or he can't like zip it and like make tough throws. And I mean, he was 13 for 28 passing. I just don't think that's good enough. Two picks, two fumbles, and he ran the ball 16 times, which is
Dear God.
not not common for quarterback. So,
No.
um, obviously they had a chance too. They had a chance to come down and um win the game. It's just I don't passing wise, I don't trust Lamar Jackson throwing the football. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't either. It sucks because I love Lamar. I think, I think, I think he's going to win a Super Bowl in his career for sure. Just the way he's a leader and can run, obviously. But passing, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's play calling, if it's they need better receivers. I mean, I know they have a lot of deep threat receivers, but I mean, they don't really have a receiver that can take over a game. He relies on the tight ends obviously a lot,
Yeah.
but um, I don't know. They need to do something because last year they looked like they were probably going to win the Super Bowl this year or in the next 3 years, but I don't have a ton of faith in them right now. I mean, they ran all over the Steelers. My God, they had like 250 rushing yards or something between the
I think
backs. But
I think they ran the ball though like over 40 or 50
yeah,
times combined.
I know. But the Steelers have a good defense. You
No,
thought they
they
would
do.
have
They do.
stopped it?
The Steelers are really good this year. I know we talk a lot about the Ravens right now, and to say I think Lamar Jackson is still a good quarterback. I
Yeah,
just don't think. I think jumping the gun. Obviously, he had an MVP, but jumping the gun, put him in that elite category is very tough. It's kind of like the Cam Newton. Cam Newton won an MVP early. I think
yeah,
that's kind of like the same. Like he won an MVP early in his career. A lot of rushing, um, and then he just kind of never sustained. Like wasn't sustainable. Um, and I
yeah.
still think Cam wasn't for like his career. He hasn't been a terrible quarterback. I think he's been a
No,
solid quarterback. It's just that elite putting him up there with the best. I just don't see it. But the Steelers, Big Ben, he has been really good this year. They have so many weapons. Their defense is really good. Um, I think not a lot of people really expected them to be this good. A lot of people thought Big Ben fell off. I think people were saying they should have drafted a quarterback and all this stuff. But they've been surprisingly really, really good.
yeah, they've been super good. I just picked Chase Claypool up in fantasy, so hopefully he keeps producing. But um, yeah, they're complete. Defense is complete, offense is complete. I mean, not much. I'm not a Steelers fan. I'm not a fan of the Steelers, but they look like they're gonna be one of the top two seeds in the AFC for sure.
Yeah. Next game, Rams Dolphins. This game was interesting. Tua made his debut, gets the win, but he threw under 100 yards in his
I
debut.
know that's
And got the
ridiculous,
win. And I was watching this game. This man Blake texted me. He's all like, I think it was the first drive of Miami. Aaron Donald gets a strip sack.
yeah, dude.
Uh,
It was like a jet sweep to Robert Woods. They were looking good.
yeah, but yeah, and then I think the Rams scored, but they got the fumble, and this man Blake texted me. He's like, man, or it was like later in the game. He texted me like, man, my first notes I took were the Rams look good.
Bro, I
And then
don't know.
since he had after he wrote that down, the Dolphins got a fumble return, a punt return,
Oh my
touchdown,
God.
two picks, two fumble recoveries, and the Dolphins defense literally just won them this game. The Dolphins offense really did not have to do nothing.
No.
They were in good position every time from their defense. Like I said, under 100 yards. That was a surprise. I thought the Rams honestly, in Tua's debut, I thought the Rams would do a really good job just because I felt like Tua would struggle, I mean, he didn't really, I mean, he struggled, but at the same time, he didn't really have to do much because they're winning.
Yeah.
Um, and they're always in good position. So he didn't have to do much. But I thought the Rams, if they if they took care of the ball, they would have been like in a really good spot to win that game, I felt like. But when you give up 2 touchdowns, you have 4 turnovers. It's going to be hard to win a game.
Yeah, I was I thought the Rams were looking good. Yeah, I admit. But I don't know what it is with the Rams, man. They have a good team, a good system, but I don't know. But yeah, the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins, and I think it goes that a lot of it just goes to show um, you can't judge a team with what they're doing too early. Because I know a lot of people weren't high on the Dolphins last year, the year
Yeah.
before, for obvious reasons. And then their new coach, Brian Flores, comes in, and I don't know. They just look like they believe in the team and the system, and everybody's buying in. And I mean, it's dope to see they're second in or AFC East, and I mean, if they win a wild card spot, that'd be crazy. But yeah, I think we do need to see more of Tua though in a situation where he has to actually do something and not just put on his helmet.
Yeah.
I'm
All right.
like, man.
Let's keep it AFC East. Patriots Bills. This game, the Patriots looked really good. Obviously, the Bills are a good team. Patriots have struggled the last couple of weeks. They're coming down last drive. Cam's leading them down the field. They get into field goal position. I think Cam, they call a run. He gets play, I think it was like inside the 20, 15, something like
Hmm.
that. And he fumbles in the last minute to lose the game.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know, man. It's tough. It just reminds me of the Panthers Broncos. They lost to the Broncos, right?
In the Super Bowl? Yeah,
Yeah,
they
the
got
Super
they got
Bowl.
they
It
got
reminds me
smacked.
of that fumble, and just reminds me of Cam. Yeah, I don't know. That's tough. He's obviously he's told to take care of the ball, and he didn't, and he could have won the game for him, and they didn't. And I think that kind of just goes to show the false optimism of the Patriots season. That sounds very harsh and sad, but I mean, I was expecting the Patriots to be solid. They looked solid in the first couple games, but it looks rough right now.
Yeah, I think too. Like Bill Belichick kind of talked about it. I was watching something and he was talking about how like they didn't have much cap space and stuff. Like
Yeah,
they're like he
yeah,
said like he only paid Cam Newton's only getting paid $1 million a year. So like it is what it is. Obviously they had the most players sit out due to COVID,
yeah. Hmm.
so that doesn't help and stuff like that. So I think it was kind of at first I feel like teams weren't high on them. Like okay, they lost Brady. A lot of
Hmm.
people are sitting out. They're done. But then they looked really good for Seattle. That was the game.
Yeah,
Seattle Cam looked really good. They looked really good, and then they just kind of fell off after that. And that
for
was another
sure.
moment they could have made a big statement, and it just was unfortunate. Um, but, I think a lot of people are actually now at this point like cheering for Cam, and it's just like stuff like this happens. You're just like, man,
It's sad.
it's tough. It's tough. Yeah. But let's move to the AFC West. Chargers, Broncos, the bottom of the division fighting, still fighting for playoffs. And actually, I looked this up the other day. So this is the first year they're doing 3 wild card teams. Actually, I actually
Oh
forgot about
yeah,
that.
I forgot
Yeah.
too,
So
but you're right.
so when we are talking about the standings last
Okay,
week, I forgot it's not two, it's three. So that's kind of a big thing
gotcha.
looking at. But
Interesting.
yeah. So this is a big game kind of for the AFC West. Obviously, the Raiders won, so they got like second. But the winner of this win got their third win. They had the same record, and the Chargers looked dominant early on, 24-3 leading in the third quarter, and the Broncos pull off the comeback, win 31-30. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I saw some tweet today that I was talking about the Chargers and the Falcons are going to play this season, and somebody's got to win, and that's pretty much what it comes down to. The Chargers and just it seems like this happens a lot to them, which sucks because I mean we're both high on Justin Herbert. I like Anthony Lynn. I think he's a really good coach. I think they have a good team, but they just seem to choke. But on the other hand, the Broncos, I think they finally found a QB, Drew Lock. Like you were saying, he's got a little swagger to him. He's got
Yeah, he
some
throw a
mojo, some
touchdown. He
moxie.
started dancing, a little
I
grooving. I'm
know.
like, okay,
There
like,
you
all
go,
right.
Drew. Yeah, I
You're
didn't know. I don't know where
you're
you
not
learned
moving
that.
like you're not really like a quarterback. You're more like a receiver with the swag and stuff.
I
You know what
know.
I mean? But hey, you can't rally the troops.
I know. If he would have did a backflip, I would have lost it. But yeah, I think I mean the Broncos went all in on offense, receivers. They drafted receivers. I think their first two picks last season or last draft. And obviously Von Miller's been out this season, but yeah, I think they look solid. They have something to build on, and they came back, and that's very unfortunate for the Chargers because they are just a lost cause at this point, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think either of these teams have looked very good this year
Mm-hmm.
consistently. I think Herbert has had his moments. I think this game Locke had his moment bringing them back, but outside of that, it's just these teams. I don't know. These were the two teams that were at the top of the division like a few years ago, where it was
Mm-hmm.
always Chargers, Broncos, and then like the Chiefs were kind of eh. But now it's kind of like
Wait,
flopped.
you said Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, the Raiders. Like, what are we talking timeline for them?
I mean, I
We
don't know. A
weren't
few
born.
years ago, they were in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Derek Carr led them to the playoffs. He got hurt. 8-8. It's kind of. Yeah, we'll just keep it pushing.
Okay.
Saints, Bears, overtime game.
Mm-hmm.
Saints win. It was like this game was weird because it was like a close game, but it was not like.
It was not close at the same time.
Yeah, it was just kind of like a weird
Yeah.
game to watch. That whole fight thing was interesting. Let's talk about that a little bit. I think from what I seen, the cornerback, Alexander or whatever, was like poking people in the
Yeah,
face
he
and
was
stuff.
poking, man. He's out here poking. You can't be poking.
But it wasn't even the dude who came up. I don't know what happened. Apparently, he said he spit in his face, and he comes. I thought at first when I first watched it, I thought he like pulled his chain. I thought he like yanked his chain,
Yeah,
and like
what the hell was that?
I guess he just like hit him in the like I don't know, it's like knocking on the door, hit him in the chest.
knock,
And got him
knock on the door.
like yo,
Hey, at least
and
he's
then he
polite
hit
about
him.
it.
Yeah, and then he like hit him twice, and then the first time he hit him, the cornerback just looked at him like, bro, what?
Who is it?
And then he hit him again. Yeah, who is it?
Oh my god.
I don't know, but that was the main takeaway I got from the game. Obviously, it was a good game. It went to overtime. The first couple drives, no one could score. Then the Saints got a field goal. But the Saints, I mean, they're 5-2 now. They're
Mhm.
looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like we said, it was close but not close just because the Bears defense is so good. Their offense obviously is garbage. They need to figure that out with the QB situation. But um, yeah, Drew Brees, every time he throws it long, man, I send up a prayer for his arm and shoulder because it does not look fluid, it does not look comfortable, it does not look like it's supposed to happen. Yeah, Drew Brees, we may need to find other positions for him on the team that doesn't
At
use arms, just
like
legs mainly.
coach,
Coach,
QB
kicker,
coach,
punter,
offensive
holder,
coordinator.
probably not long snapping. Yeah, no, coaching would be, I think, a good fit, but it doesn't look good. And for the fight, yeah, I mean, I bet the dude that got poked, he talked about it. Other dude was like, yeah, I don't know.
I
He's like,
got you. I
I
got you,
got
bro.
you. He's like, okay, cool. You'll talk to him about it. Maybe they can hash it out. The other dude was probably shook whenever he swung on him. He's like, I didn't mean that.
Oh man. Yeah,
But
he got
yeah,
suspended for 2 games too. So
yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, I probably would have. I mean, I probably would have done the same thing. Yeah, so we can move on
all right. Niners Seahawks. This game
though.
wasn't close. Metcalf. Last week it was Lockett. This week is Metcalf. It's one or the other every week. Metcalf had 12 receptions, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Russell Wilson threw 4 touchdowns. I mean, I said this last week on the podcast. The Niners had to win this game to even have a chance at playoffs, and
Hmm.
now the season's over. Niners season's over. Injuries are just too much. Kittle is probably out for the year.
Yeah,
Garoppolo has played like 2 games. I think he's gotten hurt. I think the 2 games he got played, he got hurt or he got benched because
yeah,
not because he got hurt, but to protect. I don't know. Whatever. Garoppolo hasn't been able to stay on the field. He got hurt again. He's gonna miss some weeks, and they just have too many injuries.
yeah. It's rough, especially with the way the Cardinals are looking. And then the Rams not looking great, but
But they've been
like you
winning.
said, yeah, they've been winning and they don't have as many injuries. So I don't see there's any way the 49ers get into the playoffs. And like you said, I was reading an article on the Ringer today, and they were saying just what you said. Metcalf and Lockett, literally, you double one, okay, other one goes for 150, 200, and their offense is cooking with how bad their defense has been. Um,
Yeah.
they literally just outscore everybody. I still think Russell Wilson's the best QB in the league. And
Yeah. What? Mahomes. What happened to Mahomes? He did he go to the different league or something? Or
no, bro, I think it's they're both probably tied, but Russell's just been doing it longer. Um,
yeah, I feel you.
I mean, Mahomes is if I was for the next 10 years, I'd take Mahomes, of course, but I don't know. That man Russell just doesn't miss on deep
Yeah,
throws.
no,
It's
no,
crazy.
yeah.
He's nice.
I think it's
Um,
undisputed. They're 1-2 right now.
yeah.
I think it's 1-2 and then Aaron Rodgers 3. That's just me.
You said three was Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
What about the Cowboys QB Franklin Roosevelt?
All right, next.
Bro,
All right. All right, Monday Night Football.
let's think of another
Buccaneers.
QB. I mean, president. Uh,
Buccaneers Giants Monday Night Football. This is last night. The Giants came fighting. They were fighting.
it was
They was out
crazy.
there. They looked good, but Daniel Jones, he threw two bad picks, literally the same
Bro,
way. He literally both times he threw a pick, there was a dude on his shoulder yanking him down, and he
I
just instead of you're thinking like, okay, he's gonna launch it out of bounds. He's like, nah, man, I'm going for it. And
He's,
both times they were in pretty good
oh,
like field position, so it's not like we're down like 20. I got to make a play. They were winning, I think, both times, and he just kind of like tried to make a play when he didn't have to make a play, and both times they got picked off. Um, and then late game, the controversial 2-point conversion. Personally, when I seen the video, I thought it wasn't pass interference. I felt like he got there like right on the time and hit his arm. But then there's a picture where it shows that he clearly hit him first. But I mean, to be fair to the refs, I think the refs made the right call
yeah.
by in real time. Like it is what it is. Daniel Jones threw the pass way too late. Um, other than that, like I don't know. It was a good game though for the Giants. I thought it was gonna be a blowout, and they looked good.
Yeah, dude. I think it makes me nervous for the Buccaneers, honestly, because sometimes they get in these grooves where I don't know if they just aren't taking it serious or what's going on, but they let bad teams be in the game. But yeah, every time the man Daniel Jones throws a pass or a pick, he looks so confused. Like, we could have had that. Like, what are you doing, bro? This man, he just chucked it up there, and I'm like, this man is not good. Um,
I
he's
think it's
not
that
good.
simple.
He looks like, yeah, I don't know. He just looks like he shouldn't like a cartoon character. I don't know. That's my last thought on that game.
All right, yeah. Let's lose. All right, so the last game we haven't talked about Jets and Chiefs. Not much to talk about. Mahomes, 400 plus yards, 5 touchdowns. The Jets are terrible, but
They were
well, I
getting
mean, there's not
piggyback
we're not even really
rides.
let's yeah yeah. Mahomes giving Tyreek Hill. All right, but the game there's not
Bro,
much to talk about. Chiefs dominated, but
man.
my agent, my man Chris, requested last week after he watched the podcast. Shout out my man Chris. Um, he suggested, let's. He wanted to hear us talk about the Jets' future because they got all this cap space and all these draft picks and stuff because they traded Jamal Adams. They just traded another dude, Avery Williamson, to the Steelers for like a fifth round pick.
That'll
I think
help.
last year or the year before they traded Leonard Williams. So I
Nice.
think like 2 weeks ago they traded someone else after their game.
It's good.
So let's talk about the Jets real quick. Now we gotta talk about their future. Here's their assets that I got this year. They got 2 first round picks. Theirs and Seattle's. Their second, third, and a third from Seattle. They're gonna have either 2 fourths or 2 fifths because of the Giants trade with Leonard Williams and a fifth from Pittsburgh, I believe, for Williamson, who they just traded at the trade deadline. And after that, who really cares? Because most of the time, 6th, 7th round, you're not getting too much. They also got from William or for Adams, they got a first round in 2022 from the Seahawks as well, and they're expected to have 80 million in cap space moving
My
forward in
God.
this offseason. Could be more, could be less, but that's around the expected. So, Blake, you are running the Jets. What are you doing with this team?
What am I doing with the team?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I was put in charge with the Jets, yeah, I'd probably find a part-time gig that at least instills some sort of joy in my life. I'd probably, I don't know, man. I mean, first note is if a team was out there piggyback riding, double dutching, doing playing foursquare and stuff while we were in a game, I'd be pretty upset because that means we're getting waxed. And uh, I don't know what they're doing. My first thing would be to fire Adam Gase because that man is I don't know. He's an interesting character. He's trash as a coach. Um, they have so many assets and they have so much cap space, but um, they're just a tragedy, you know. I don't know if they should relocate, maybe to Omaha, maybe to Fargo. I don't know, maybe somewhere in the Midwest. Probably, I don't know, man. I don't know what I would do. What I actually, one thing I do know, I would do coaching for sure, and then um, I, coaching and then give Darnold a little bit of time because we can't blame that man for not having a good coach. I don't think he's amazing, but give him a little bit more time. I think they just need to kind of do what the Bills are doing. I think stacking the defense up and then give that man somebody to throw to. I know he has Crowder, and that's about it. They need some receivers.
Yeah. Yeah. So when he said, let's talk about their future. I go to the Jets roster. I'm like, let me see how many players I know on this team. Like, let me see what they're working with. Let me see what the
You see
Jets
what
are
they're
working
working with?
with. And I didn't know much of anyone on their team. I'm not gonna lie, but so you're saying move on with Darnold. So you're saying don't draft Trevor Lawrence.
Oh God, no! If they draft Trevor Lawrence, I think they should build him a statue. They should hold a parade, a Trevor Lawrence Day. Everybody in Jersey should be required to have his haircut. No, I absolutely think if Trevor Lawrence is there, they draft him. I'm just saying
Okay.
if he's not and they fire Adam Gase, just pick somebody to build around Donald for at least another year. I don't know what
Yeah.
his contract is, but
Yeah, I don't know much about this draft class coming up. Obviously Trevor Lawrence and stuff, but the Jets have a lot that they need. A lot. There's nothing. They're
that
not
they
like
don't need.
they like okay. Here's their core right now. You got they did get a left tackle this year, high overall or the third overall
Nice.
pick,
Don't
right?
know who he is.
I think I forget where he's from. I think it might have been Bama. I could be wrong though. Wait, rookie.
Oh
I,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, they got him in the third overall pick, right?
yeah. I know you're talking about
Um, then they got the D lineman the year before, the man from I'm not going to say,
Quentin
but
Williams
they got D line.
from
But
Bama.
yeah, Quinn Williams. But the problem with
Nice
that is
guy.
they've done that so many times. Like they had Leonard Williams and they didn't pan out and
Bro.
stuff. So like at some point, I don't know, but okay, they got a D lineman, young D lineman, and they have Mims, who I think is actually a pretty good receiver. They got him like third round or something like that, fourth round. Um, he's from
What'd you
Baylor.
say?
They got Mims, Denzel
Bless
Mims or
you.
something like that.
Is that a player? Bro, I never heard of seen him.
I don't know. He's only played a couple of games, but I think he's all right. But the first thing you got to do with these, I mean, you got these picks, but like they free agency is gonna be first. I don't know who is gonna want to go to the Jets, but whoever wants to go there, you pay them. All right, you pay whoever you can get to come play for the Jets. You probably try to load up on like defense and O line, maybe a receiver or something like that. Um, I think you gotta take Trevor Lawrence. You're probably gonna have the first pick. You gotta take Trevor Lawrence, and you gotta move on. Get whatever you can for Darnold, but I just think he needs a fresh start. I don't think Darnold's that bad as he
No.
looks, but I think he needs a fresh start, and he don't have much help. So Lawrence is not gonna be the answer. You gotta get help everywhere else. Your other first round pick, you probably try to get Lawrence a weapon. You already got your left tackle, so you need to get him a weapon.
receiver. Yeah.
And you try to probably load up on free agency and on your defense, try to build a defense through free agency. And you could probably get, I know they got P Ryan or whatever, the Michael P Ryan or whatever last year late in the draft, but you can try to get another running back late in the draft. Cause Frank Gore, I'm sorry, but it's time to hang it up. I'm
Hang
not
him
gonna
up,
lie.
man. Yeah.
But other than that, like you have all these picks, you guys got so much free agent. I don't know who's, like I said, I don't know who's gonna want to come there, but you can pay. You need to pay some people to get there because you trade away all your like the people they paid in that last year was what, or a couple years ago was Bell, and that didn't work out. You drafted well with Adams, but you end up trading him. You got some good assets back, but like now you gotta draft and you gotta sign people that are gonna stay long term. But I think that's all I got for the Jets. You got anything else?
Quickly, it reminds me of the situation the Cardinals were in whenever they drafted Josh Rosen, and they thought that that was going to be their guy, and they had a chance to
And
take
and
Kyler, get a new coach, trade Rosen. They got like Kenyon Drake and a couple picks for Rosen, and I'm like, that's perfect.
yeah,
That's the gets the ball rolling. So yeah, I think just do that, and then I think um, maybe go to Canva and make a nice brochure about what there is to do in Jersey to entice people maybe to want to come to the Jets because I probably wouldn't go to the Jets if they paid me a lot of money and I just work in sales.
yeah. Real quick to wrap it up, cause I gotta go soon. Let's talk about a couple of these next week games real quick.
Yeah.
Your your top game, you have Saints and Bucks Sunday Night Football. What you got for me?
Yeah, I don't see. I don't know if they'll be the necessarily the best game, but I
Best game?
think it's
It's for the
definitely
division
yeah, it's one of the
right
most
now.
important games. They both are coming off wins. Antonio Brown's going to be playing. Hopefully, Michael Thomas is playing. I'm not sure. Um, so I think it'll be definitely the most important game to see which of the old QBs is going to take the division.
Yep. Another good game, Seahawks Bills. I think this will be a real test for the Bills to
Mm-hmm.
see how good they really are. Obviously, Seahawks offense has looked great. Bills usually, they're good defense. Um, so I think that will be an interesting game. It's not much like playoff wise. Obviously, Seattle's already in a good spot. Bills, their division, they're probably going
Mm-hmm.
to win it. But they also don't want to drop a game and let the Dolphins sneak up on them.
For
Um,
sure.
Other than that, oh, Bears Titans, another good game. I think this is big for the Bear. I feel like it's bigger for the Bears than it is Titans,
Yeah.
just because they're fighting the division with the Packers and also the wild card in the NFC is going to be tough. Um, with you got the Cardinals, the Rams, and then the Saints or the Bucks all fighting, and then you got the Bears in there too. So that's going to be another big game, and a game I have underrated, Ravens Colts. I think this is a great game to see how legit are the Colts. They're 5-2. But it's just you're not really. I'm not. No one. I feel like no one's really sold on the Colts yet. You know what I mean? Like
For
they could
sure.
be a playoff team, but
Yeah.
they don't. They don't. You don't think Colts playoff team now?
No, I don't. I'm not sold on them yet, mainly because Rivers, while he's good and he can throw for a lot of yards, he makes a lot of mistakes. And in the playoffs, playing teams like Seahawks or Chiefs or Ravens or Steelers, they're going to capitalize on that. So um, I think it'll be a good test for them, of course, against the Ravens, a playoff team. And like you were talking about, Titans and Colts are kind of neck and neck. So we'll see who runs away with that one and yeah, gets these wins in the middle of the season.
Yeah. All right. I think you got anything else for me? I think that might be it. You got
Last question, quick one. You
all right.
taking
Quick one.
AJ Brown and DK for the next 5 years or Jarvis and Odell?
DK Metcalf and AJ Brown. That's simple.
I am too.
Um, it's crazy because since Jarvis Landry and Odell's been on the same team, I feel like they've gotten worse. Like
Yeah,
Jarvis, I feel like was really good on the Dolphins, and he went to the Browns, and it was just like, eh. Like everyone's like, oh, if Jarvis and Odell team up, it's gonna be crazy. They're teammates. But
yeah,
DK and AJ Brown, they have been ridiculous this year. I'm not gonna lie. Both of them have been really, really good.
yeah. Would love to see for Jarvis and Odell to go to another team or go on their own because Cleveland ain't it.
Not it.
Hashtag
All right.
Cleveland ain't it. All
I
right.
think that's it for this
Yes, sir.
episode 2 of Fumbles and Floaters. There's not much NBA. Hopefully soon we get some NBA news. Mostly football right now, but hope y'all enjoyed this episode. And go Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah, go Oakland or Las
All right, I'm out.
Vegas now.
No, I'm done.